downstairs, we'll have the door open, we'll figure out how this wood expanded, and never sleeps. From a place where the all-night restaurant closes at 4 in the afternoon. And in the middle of Welling, but don't let's say, well, I live in Chelsea, or Tribeca, or Murray Hill, or East Harlem, or Washington Heights, or a dozen other places. That would be their neighborhood, sure, but in fact, in Starbucks on 86th Street, not anymore. Taking over an entire building down here in Chelsea. They're everywhere. Google here, Google there. So it's like walking the line on. You might bump into tomorrow's high-tech living area. This is right. On these piers, you find bowling alleys, ice skate rinks, rock climbing walls, restaurants, group homes, even a movie studio. Example, one you can see most easily is Pier 59. Look up ahead, left side. And one, that steel curtain, Pier 59, right now is keeping golf balls from flying off into the river. It's a day-night thing. Boston Sea, John, Jacob, that's very few of them would ever see the place. Well, that's the left side. What about the right side? When you come out of Stevens here in Hoboken, you'll probably get a job, which is like Superman, but I don't need it. I can look right through that hill, or straight through it, behind in the twilight time. Now there is one neighborhood, just one, that we still call the Village. Turn your heads to the left, Friends territory. Just off the waterfront, two streets come together, Bedford and Grove. Expect to find Rachel Beatty on the cross street. Friends. They are not real. Don't even call them brothers. 1927, 51st and Broadway, the old Waterfield, and just off Times Square. Oh, 97 different languages. Now do yourself a favor, skip the theme restaurants. All around. They're still around. The Native Americans, they haven't gone anywhere. Well, they built the tall buildings, the skyscrapers built. But, well, now, maybe we can't, maybe we'll never get downtown, but we can certainly look downtown. Let's do it. They can't stop us. Left side. That is the soon-to-be completed World Trade Center number 1. Here, on your left, comes Gotham City. It is also the museum. The tickets themselves were free. You will have a time printed upon them telling you what time to come down, go through security to visit the footprints of the native awards when the people lost on that day. They hand them out till they run out. It's first come, first served. Do they run out? Yeah, they do run out. Sheer stop. Last stop on the E train is World Trade Center. Ground zero. Take it to the end and you're right there. Now, that might be the tallest building or Manhattan. The Twin Towers, when they stood directly opposite on the left side, they were twice as tall, 110 stories each. But got stuck right into the other 2/3. They were going someplace else. But the building with the 4 towers, the Great Hall, you came face to face with St. Peter at the Golden Gate. In the purpose. Likely. Once off the ferries at Brunch, you were lined up, separated from your families, disrobed in front of strange on a ship. Spent the last of your life savings to make the journey. And on the very day you got here, believing the...
Yeah, they can fit.
And in it she calls this statue Mother of Exiles. Ancient lands restoring pumps as she was silent lips. Give me your tired, your
yeah, but that's the scaffolding.
Today she was going for nothing but that topside. See it, it's up, it's up. She's too weak to not leave her cabin dining. Convenient, but taking a walk downstairs, out onto the bow, and take your camera with you. For as we straighten out of this turn in front of us, you got a picture of this. displacing it. Right all the way to the technology. They sold it to us. We got $1. We selected it. You have to check the website.
Pictures. So you guys
Manhattan, Chicago has a lake on one side, of some size, but they can sprawl north, west, and south, and they're that old, little more than a century. Halfway through that century, half of all the tall biggest thing over there, you can't miss it. It's been that way now for 82 years. Waiting at the top of the building with these arms of that 42nd Street in the summer. Countries will be at the you see today. For most of those years, the United Nations nominated the Earth for protection. Not anymore. Go with the latest up on the island's rich neighbors, Trump's World Tower. Built as a public Trump Tower on Fifth Avenue. Amongst the G's and G's. Who's in the building? When he's in town, Roosevelt Island, Franklin Roosevelt. Until 1970, this was Welfare Island. Little park here at the very end of it, fourth checkout line behind Maryland Monroe. Now there is a view you don't get from the circle. On this one, there's a curious thing. 1915, the Greenland's amendment, when you think of Roosevelt Island, you drive to the top of the stop. Wait a minute. Over 9,000 people live inside it. And if they work, and they do, they work in Manhattan because most alleys look like that. You can ride the Sky Car. Roosevelt Crossing from here to Manhattan. Who can ride the Sky Car? It's my friend. Take the second building if so, you recognize this building. It's featured in the film big time at the very end. Hospital for special surgery. And the ending for you if you haven't seen the movie. Moving away, just think of the building, go see the film. Then you know what we're talking about. He said, I think research it's going to be a lot of people there. It's going to be around the island. We don't do the colors. That would be New York. Here's New York said to have the second most difficult job in the country. Gold beats in this house, the yellow green shutters white trim, but the flagpole will be most colorful bears. Well, is it more difficult to be mayor today than it was in the 20th time? You can argue both ways, but here's one thing we know before the ride. You see the parkway on our left, East River Drive, right here, melting into the Harlem River Drive. Moses hated mass transit. He was in favor of highways for the automobile, which he loved. And he pretty much made the motor car king in America. It's pretty funny because, like many New Yorkers, Robert Moses couldn't drive. He didn't have a driver's license. He was doesn't happen all that often. If there's any silver lining, it is that there are certain things we passed on the way up that we really didn't have a chance to talk about. What was the result? Race. Matching the goats. Trying to get the highest building in the world. From 1913 onward, for 17 years, a total advertised as a price of office. So we hired an architect. Is a 792-foot building. We're going to have to go higher than that and build in a safe margin. He designs a building for Mr. Chrysler to come in at 925 feet, surrounded by a Polish neighborhood. Italian at one time, now it's almost entirely Polish. Other Brooklyn neighborhood that surrounds it, but not anymore. 8 years ago, But what I want you to look for, just before we get to the refinery, left side, I thought we see that little ferry boat coming upstream. Just before we get to the Brooklyn Bridge and this Williamsburg Bridge. And sir, Rosie London Bridge was falling down. These were the sidewalks of New York. By 1910, thanks to Pearl Harbor, you stood a memorial to the Arizona. She's there now, mostly beneath through the tempest of the North Atlantic to arrive in the harbor on of all days, the 11th of September of the year 16. He would not see it again, never to return. The first impression is said to be most beautiful. It is in power the Dutch. Megalopolis, Imperial City, capital of the world. Building. 60 stories, 792 feet. For 17 years, tallest building in the world. One of those things, on the way upstream, you probably noticed a building which is now on our right, on the left coming up. A building with a statue on top. Looked to be a gold statue. We already have a city hall. We've had one since 1811, where the mayor's had the was ruined, and her career as well. She tried to take her own life. It didn't work. She launched it. But because of that. That's where they land. Marine One puts the president down right there. When that happens, nothing else does. Tons of the stuff. The gold is here. Wall Street's here. You saw it with your own eyes. United Nations saying presidents come all the time, and when they do, that's where they land. And when that happens, nothing else does. We wouldn't be here. Well, no president today, so here we are, back in the harbor. We're going to keep an eye on that Staten Island ferry to our right. Big Bully just comes charging up, and every first Staten Island ferry, year would have been 1810. Your crew, your captain, he did not do it for free. And why should he? He did all the work himself. They don't agree on much, but they do agree that this is the North River. Why? Inside is Mount New Jersey, Jersey City, Hoboken, and Weehawken. And he was met right there by Fiorello LaGuardia. King George VI came back to the news recently, starting public culture. He's the king, featured in the King's Speech. We're back in Hoboken, Stevenson student on the hill. Now, you might agree with the people in Cooperstown that that's where baseball was invented, but Hoboken says, well, no. Oh, wait a minute, there goes our beast. We get back, and this was not exciting enough for you. You can take a ride on the beast if you're man enough. We do not recommend the beast. When we started out today, the population of Manhattan Island was about 4 million. By the time you go to bed at night, trucks come out, and those tow trucks don't tow anybody. The business end is the front end with a wooden bumper, and bigger, and then you hear this very gruff New Jersey voice. It booms out, put it in neutral and steer. Up to the tugboat blew their whistles. Why such a fuss? Well, there's always the nice to understand. As Scott Fitzgerald once said, there are no second acts in American life. Lincoln did not free the slaves. Grant freed the slaves. He was Lincoln's genius. Routine flight to Charlotte, North Carolina, and eventually to Seattle, but the first flight to Charlotte, North Carolina. The left-hand seat, the veteran pilot, 57-year-old space age as well. 1976, the Navy not devoted for its figure about 3 hours. A lot to do, indoors and out. A lot of stuff inside. Kids like it, simulated. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28 29 30 31 32 33 34 35 36 37 38 39 40 41 42 43 44 45 46 47 48 49 50 51 52 53 54 55 56 57 58 59 60 61 62 63 64 65 66 67 68 69 70 71 72 73 74 75 76 77 78 79 80 81 82 83 84 85 86 87 88 89 90 91 92 93 94 95 96 97 98 99 100 101 102 103 104 105 106 107 108 109 110 111 112 113 114 115 116 117 118 119 120 121 122 123 124 125 126 127 128 129 130 131 132 133 134 135 136 137 138 139 140 141 142 143 144 145 146 147 148 149 150 151 152 153 154 155 156 157 158 159 1 the guys from the Spanish galleon are making a break for it. Across the ocean, something like that. Now stop and remind yourself, Henry Hudson's Heaven. It was a high-pooped yacht. That's a high-pooped galleon.
Husband took it down there. He better have gotten some good pictures for me.